Some recent events have brought to mind the importance and relevance of sequential processing and all that means relative to teens, young adults, and adults. Uh, Recently, three teenagers murdered a college student because they were bored, supposedly. And I think very possibly that is going to be as close as we get to a real answer of why they did it, because they were bored. Now, if we look at, kids who are 16, 17, 18, which I believe is what these kids were who committed this, and say, okay, they did this kind of act because they were bored, what does that really say? And to me, what it says is that's not a reflection of 16, 17, 18-year-old levels of maturity or complexity of thought. I'd love to know what the sequential processing skills, short-term memory, working memory, executive function is of these young men. And my suspicion is, it's really quite low, which is why they did it. And when I look at society as a whole, I think we're dealing with many, many people who have poor processing skills. And because they have poor processing skills, they have poor short-term memory, working memory, and most significantly, they have poor executive function, or if you will, simply the ability to think. Think with complexity, all right? Think to the point where you can think through, if I do this, then this will happen, that will happen, that will happen. That all requires processing skill. And the same processing skills are the processing skills that permit you to learn how to do a job, permit you to function in a job, permit you to have good interactions socially, to have good relationships, to function well as parents. If you will, it is the foundation upon which we function. And there's so many people trying to make it in this world without a foundation. And what is really tragic about it is that it's not hard to establish this foundation. Those individuals who are born lucky and have families that are interactive with educations, with verbal skills, who give the kids a lot of one-on-one interaction, they're off to a great start. Those kids who have good educational opportunities, they're off to a great start. Those kids who do not have that are going to have a difficult time growing into functional adults unless there's some intervention along the way to remediate that. And, it's not that hard. We've been developing methodologies for 40 years to improve sequential processing skills. It's one-on-one activities, it's apps, it's software, it's online programs. If you will, that's largely our mission, to improve this foundation so people can function better. But I'm very concerned that there are so many children who do not have the foundation who are in trouble. And sadly, even today, children who are in homes where the parents have the ability to interact and have an educational foundation, the perception has become that an educational opportunity or an opportunity for young children is based on preschools. And that's really, really a sad misperception. The more one-on-one typically that young children can have before 5 or 6 years of age, and even after, right, the more we develop those very important processing skills. So parents, really get your responsibility, and society get it that we have to be responsible as a society and make sure those children, those individuals who are not growing up in homes that provide the opportunity, that we find a way to provide that opportunity to establish a neurological foundation where these individuals can function.